Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now, hello. Hour number 3 of the line. I want to give a very special shout out to our homegirl Stacy G, who is so astute. So right before we came on, I pulled up YouTube just because I like to keep the YouTube stream coming up,
Right.
and she's already in there for hour number 3 with a
Yeah,
hey now.
she is for a lot of hours.
All the way in Florida, listening to the line every single day. She's part of the OTL family, and she's part of the line family.
Yep.
So, shout out Stacy G, my homegirl.
Hold me closer, tiny dancer.
That's right. That's right. Trump's still taking questions. I think I don't think this is going to last much longer, but I would like to keep up with it. He was talking about gas prices, talking about Iran. Comparing this conflict in Iran to other wars, he's like, Vietnam, World War II, all these other conflicts that we've been in Afghanistan and Iraq, years and years and years and years. And here we are, couple months in, 3 months, and it's like, people are like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. And it's like, dude, it goes back to my point of being a society of impatience. And everybody wants to be an expert on this stuff and act like they know what's going on, but they really have no idea. You don't. None of us have the information that goes across the desk of Donald Trump, of Pete Hegseth, of General Raising Cane and others. They know what they're doing, and they're not telling us half of what's going on behind the scenes. But, of course, the internet has created a place for everybody to think they know everything, and that's what you get. And I see it every day, every single day. I see it on the text line. I see it on Twitter. I see it all over the place. Everybody's so incredibly smart, and they know the solutions to all of these problems. And Donald Trump's doing such a horrible job. And I'll say this: I want some of you that are out there that are like me, that still support the president, think the president's doing the right thing and doing a fantastic job. Don't let yourself get sucked into this vortex of people that are spewing constant negativity about what this administration is doing. Because it can get in your head and you start thinking to yourself, wow, has Donald Trump really screwed the pooch this time? Stick to your guns. Don't allow other people to change what you know. And all you got to do is look at the track record. The reason people are acting the way they're acting, there is legitimate frustration as we talked gas prices. But there's also so many other things when it comes to the economy, so many other things that are laying the groundwork, that are laying the framework for an amazing economic boom that most people just breeze over. They don't even talk about. One big conversation today was Trump RX. And the fact that people are going to be saving a tremendous amount of money on medication, which is why, like 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, $4 a gallon gas would have been so detrimental. It would have been crushing to a lot of people all across this country. But right now, people are finding a way to survive. Now, why is that? One, because people are making more money. Of course not. There's going to be somebody, I'm not making more money. Of course, I'm not talking about everybody in the entire country. But a lot of people are making more money than they were making 5, 10 years ago. There's also a lot of aspects of life, a lot of necessities where people are saving money. And it's just, it has allowed a cushion for people to get by with this bump in the road. Still not easy. Still, some people, a lot of people have to make sacrifices here or there because of high gas prices. But the economic framework that's being laid out right now is all going to play out. Not just that, but as far as the argument of Donald Trump screwing this whole thing up and making the wrong moves. People have been sitting on the edge of their seat from day one when Trump came down the escalator, waiting on Donald Trump to screw something up big time. Like, really just completely F up. And the reason for that is his brash language, his attitude, his personality, his unconventional style, but also the echo chamber from the never Trumpers on the right and the radical left, and really the entire Democrat Party. We have spent the 10 years of Trump listening to commentary about how awful he is and how he's just an absolute screw up. And whether you believe it or not, you're still hearing it. And so for a lot of people, they have been waiting for Donald Trump. He always comes out on top, somehow, some way. He always comes out on top. But a lot of people, and people with good intentions, Trump supporters even, find themselves on the edge of their seat, waiting for something bad to happen, waiting for it to come out that Donald Trump did something really bad this time, or there's some skeletons in his closet that nobody knew before, and now it's out there. He's in the Epstein files, or whatever it is. People are waiting on that. And that's the type of people that you're hearing from. They're scared to death that they're going to end up on the wrong side of this argument, if you will. That they're going to be caught supporting Trump at the same time ish hits the fan. And the Trump, the politician, comes crumbling down. But the problem is, all these years later, that's never happened. Every time there's some sort of big controversy or some big issue that everybody's talking about, Trump always comes out squeaky clean, comes out as being right. It's much like Donald Trump's pull within the Republican Party, all right? People say, with gas prices, with the war, with everything going on, people, even Trump supporters, Republicans across the board, they're not supporting Trump anymore. Yet here we are, halfway through the primaries, and Donald Trump is getting every single endorsement correct. Every single Trump-endorsed candidate in the primaries are winning their races. You can say Trump picked 10 candidates. He endorsed 10 candidates and got all 10 of them got elected. That maybe that's just a coincidence. But do you want to know what Trump's record in this year's primaries are? You know how many Trump endorsed all across the board? U.S. House, U.S. Senate, all of them. You want to know how many he's gotten right? 118. You know how many he's gotten wrong? How many of his endorsed candidates have lost? 0. Donald Trump is 118-0 with candidates that he has endorsed during this primary. So make no mistake. I say all that to say this. Don't allow the panicking commentary on the internet, on TV, wherever you're hearing it. Don't allow it to get in your head. Because this dude still knows what the hell he's doing. And when it comes to what's the focus of most people right now, the conflict in Iran, he's got a plan. And while it seems, because you're getting all these conflicting reports, a lot of mainstream outlets actually get their news directly from Iran or Iranian state media, I wouldn't worry about it. He's got it. He's got it covered. You got to understand how these reports work as well. Take CNN or MS Now or whatever. They will take something that is reported by Iranian state media, the IRGC or whoever, and they'll just repeat it. They'll put it in a headline. And yes, they'll cover their own ass by saying, according to state TV in Tehran, blah, blah, blah. They say blah, blah, and they make it seem as if it's fact. Or, for instance, the deal that they're working on right now. Tehran, or leadership in Iran, puts out on their news the supposed deal that's being discussed. It gives Iran everything they want, from keeping uranium to keeping their nuclear program open to receiving billions and billions of dollars to complete surrender by the U.S. The Iranian state TV puts that out, and then CNN just laps it up and spits it out to their viewers. And then it gets repeated and echoed on social media. But it's the exact opposite of what the real deal is, what they're talking about behind the scenes, because Iran is in the business of letting their people know, whether they come out on the good side or not, that they got the better of the U.S. They have to, at the end of this, when it's all over, when Iran has no control over the Strait of Hormuz, when they have no ability to create a nuclear weapon, they are going to go to their people and say, we had a full, unconditional surrender by the United States. They lost, we won. That's it. It's what they've always done. And CNN knows that. But they'll still continue to put their propaganda out on their airwaves in American media to convince the American people that that's exactly what happened. That Trump has completely surrendered to the Iranians. They're cheering for him. They're pulling for the Iranian regime. So I say all that to say this. You made it this far. You're 10 plus years in. You've supported Trump all along the way. And through all those years, it's worked out for you. You've ended up on the right side of the issues. And maybe it took a while for you to be proven right. Many things. Russia collusion. COVID. All of these things that you were told was a conspiracy theory, and Donald Trump's talking crazy about whatever. Obama spying on his campaign, all of these things. The Hunter Biden laptop. All the things that Donald Trump talked about. What happened? What happened at the end of the day? We found out he was exactly right. Trump always ends up being right. Somehow, some way. So there's no need to panic now. The guy knows what he's doing. All right, John Bird, I didn't mean to go on that rant. I don't even know what happened. They just wrapped up their cabinet meeting. Trump taking questions from reporters. I was watching it during the break. Kind of, nothing crazy, but saying everything's under control. Look at that live shot of the White House. You see on the backside those arches?
Wow.
That's above the UFC ring. So that's where the lights will be and everything else.
Is that going to be a permanent fixture or temporary?
They're taking it down after.
Dang it.
They're not going to leave a UFC octagon on the backside of the White House.
It would be cool, though.
It would be very cool. I'm wondering how the seats are going to be laid out, though, like the stands. They could build a pretty big venue, outdoor venue, in a very short amount of time. Because I recall the Royal Rumble back in January, the WWE pay-per-view was it in Riyadh? It was in Saudi Arabia somewhere, I believe. Was it Dubai? I can't remember. But it was somewhere in the Middle East. And they built a 30,000 seat stadium in like a month or 2 months. 30,000 seat stadium, temporary, that they then tore down afterwards. They built it in a matter of like 2 months. And I thought, surely that thing's going to collapse. But it didn't. It worked out for them. So, not that they're going to put 30,000 people on the lawn of the White House. I would imagine it's probably going to be more like a few thousand. But who knows? I haven't seen the layout yet. So, we'll see how it pans out. 205-545-9950. Cover all RV services. My boy Dylan Love what Dylan does. I told you yesterday about mine and Dylan's history and how I watched him go from working for somebody doing what he does now to doing it for himself, working for himself. And honestly, I'm proud of him, man. He's such a good dude and deserves all the success that he has, and mostly because he's such a hard worker and he's so thorough and pays attention to detail. And that's what you need when it comes to working on anything, especially your RVs, your campers, your pop ups. If you've got an RV that's got an issue, or a camper that's got an issue that needs to be fixed, it could be cosmetic, it could be electrical problems, or whatever. Call my buddy Dylan. He'll come out to you and get that fixed. You don't even have to take it to him. If you've got if you just got a camper and you'd like to have somebody on speed dial that can come fix an issue that you got on the spot, put the number in your phone. Find him, add him on Facebook. Cover all RV services. Hit him up anytime. Make sure you let him know I sent you, and Dylan's going to take care of you for sure. 205 224 2268. That's 205 224 2268. Cover all RV services. Two zero five 545 9950. If you want to get in. Sean says Donald Trump is the Nick Saban of politics. What do you think about that analogy?
Agreed.
Yeah, he kind of.
All he do is win.
It kind of is. Kind of is. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
The only way they can win is by cheating.
That is a fact, actually, because as you've noticed, as of late, Democrats When they can't win, they start to change the rules. They attempt to change the rules, should I say, i.e., California, Virginia, uh, threats to expand the Supreme Court, their threat to nuke the filibuster as soon as they get in power. All of that is going to happen if Democrats get in power. But anyway, it's why the SAVE Act's got to be passed. I know we kind of, we get caught up in the weeds and all these things happening. The news moves at a fast pace, but make no mistake, the Save America Act is still number one priority. Let me get to Nate over in Pelham. Nate, what's up?
What's up?
Hey, man.
I don't feel like we're winning, man. I'm watching the school system change. We've got about 60% Hispanic students, I think now. I think 10 million came under Joe Biden. Trump's only deported 300,000. He promised to release the Epstein files. Didn't do it because it was going to hurt his friends.
He didn't release
Taylor Greene.
Didn't release any Epstein files?
He redacted a lot of names because it was going to hurt his friends,
Gotcha.
according to Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
And he also promised no new war, and he started a new war. Do you gamble?
Lightly.
I will bet you any amount of money you want to bet that we get swept in the midterms and we lose the majority in the House and the Senate.
Gotcha. Well, I'm not in the business of betting with complete strangers, but you can call me back after the midterms. And
you don't think we're going to get swept?
No, I don't.
Maybe not swept, but we're going to lose the majority.
Okay, so now you're changing your opinion. I mean, that was quick. So is it swept or not swept?
Not swept, but we're going to lose our majority for sure.
Okay. Well, I guess
300,000
that's your prediction.
illegals. What do you got to say to that?
I say that we're going to continue deporting people. Actually, Donald Trump just hired a tremendous amount of immigration judges, which has been part of the problem, is the hang up in getting them processed through the immigration courts. So you're about to see that number speed up tremendously. But, who else?
Now he's using the. Sorry.
Who else was going to deport the illegals that were in this country?
That's what I'm saying. It's time to turn our backs on them and pick a new guy.
Because there's who's the guy that you would pick that would deport 10 million people within the year and a half that should have been deported?
I haven't seen one yet.
Okay.
That's running.
All right.
But
so we need to turn our back on Donald Trump for somebody that doesn't exist?
Well, they might. It's not election time yet.
Okay, so tell me what the solution is. That's what I'm asking here. All right, so you and I are probably going to disagree on whether or not Trump is doing a good job, but you have to. If you're going to turn your back on Trump and say don't vote for Trump, you got to at least offer somebody up, my friend.
Well, Nick Fuentes would be a good one.
Okay, all right, buddy. Have a good day. That was Nate. That was all I needed to hear. Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, at least it was cordial.
Well, Nick Fuentes has made it clear who he wants to win, which is the Democrats. He says Republicans need to be completely taken out of office and that people need to vote Democrat. So, I mean, now that Nate has made it clear who he supports, I think we all understand now. Trump also announced while taking questions that he has been invited to attend one of the NBA Finals games with the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. That's pretty cool. So he may go to one of the NBA games. I don't know that I've ever seen Trump at an NBA game.
I guess that's cool.
Why is
NBA is so woke, man.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's fascinating. He said, "I think I'll be going to one of the games. I was invited by numerous people." He had a huge. Was that where he brought out RFK during the 2024 campaign? Was that when at Madison Square Garden? Tony Hinchcliffe spoke. What's wrong, John Bird?
My windows are down.
Your window. Wait a minute. Hold on. The John Bird just left. He said his windows are down and it's raining. Is it raining? Hold on, I'm looking at the radar. My windows, my window here in the studio is not. Oh, it's just a little bit of rain. It's not a lot. Just take some paper towels and sop it up. Poor guy. Anyway, well, John Bird's gone. If you want to get in, I'll try to put you on hold. 205. I may just take your call straight. 205-545-9950. That's 545-9950. So we talked about the 250 celebration. Talked about the explosion. Let me talk, since we're talking about Trump, let's just discuss very quickly the primaries in Texas last night, because I think they were very telling. On the front side, Texas Democrats are losing a tremendous asset in Jasmine Crockett, who will be making her way out soon. And I want everybody to remind themselves of some of the people we're losing in Congress on both sides, or that we've already lost in Congress. We've lost the likes of Jasmine Crockett. We've lost Eye Patch McCain, Dan Crenshaw. We've lost Marjorie Taylor Greene, all fantastic losses that only make the party better, make Congress better. AJ just walked into the producer booth looking around like, where the hell did John Bird go? His windows are down, and he just found out it was pouring rain, so he'll be back in a moment. I don't need a producer. You don't have to worry about it. Do you think? Wow, that was quick. He made it back fast. John Bird, you out of breath?
No.
Was it raining hard?
Yeah.
Were your seats wet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at least it's the Mustang.
Yeah, you won't.
Yeah, but I'll get that sour, stinking smell when the sun comes out.
Yeah.
But I did the steps. That's good cardio.
Yeah. You got there and back tremendously fast.
Yeah, well, I mean.
I'm assuming you didn't take the elevator.
No.
Took the steps.
Yeah, 2 at a time coming up.
Well,
Bad idea.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that, buddy.
Yeah, I ain't 21 anymore.
You get your voice back, and you end up breaking your leg.
Oh, dang.
We don't need that.
All right, all's good.
All right. So anyway, we've lost some real winners in Congress. And of course, all of them leave Congress sour. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, for instance. She was mad because Trump knew. And this goes back to the endorsements of Donald Trump. He wants to be a winner. He wants to get all of these right. And when Marjorie Taylor Greene called Donald Trump and said, I want to run for Senate, would you endorse me? He's like, no, don't run for Senate. You can't win statewide. And so all of a sudden, she went from being a Trump supporter to saying that he's got dementia and he needs to be impeached and all of this kind of stuff. I mean, people that flip that quick, you can't take them seriously. You just, I mean, I don't understand how anybody can look at individuals like that and take them seriously. But there are even more losses, such as everybody's favorite dastardly deeds done and dastardly deeds. What was it that he said? Al Green. who has attempted to impeach Donald Trump 6 times, physically protested the last 2 State of the Union speeches, has officially lost his primary runoff. Now, Al Green has been in Congress for 20-something years. How long has he been? Let me see if I can find that. I think 27 years, something crazy. 78 years old. He's been in Congress forever. And when you've been in Congress that long, and congressmen have to run every 2 years, or House members have to run every 2 years. And for 20-something years, year after year, Al Green has won. Traditionally, you don't even have to campaign once you've got your district that locked in, right? People just automatically vote for you. You've been there for 20-something years. They feel like you're doing the right thing by them. You don't lose that race. But last night, Al Green, who has, again, announced multiple impeachments against Trump, gets trounced by 37-year-old Christian Menifee in the Democrat primary in Texas's 18th district. He got pummeled by 20-something, 30-something points. That's bad. And that says a lot. You have to ask yourself, why is that? Why do people, especially Democrats, like their number one priority is get Trump? And nobody was in more of a get Trump mindset than Al Green. But he gets absolutely obliterated. Donald Trump actually said something about that this morning. He said, congratulations to the Democrat Party. Al Green, one of the most mentally deficient congressmen in the history of our country, has lost in a landslide his seat in Congress. But I will miss that lunatic not screaming and violently waving his cane at me during my next State of the Union speech. Make America great again. God bless America. And this is what he does. Remember, he has it, black people aren't apes. He had a big sign that said, black people aren't apes at the last State of the Union. And they kicked him out within 5 minutes. Trump says, I'll miss that lunatic not screaming violently and waving his cane at me at the next State of the Union. So Al Green loses. And again, when you put it in perspective, it's kind of a big deal that a guy that has that district locked in loses in a landslide. But then on the other side, on the Republican Party in Texas, another landslide happened. And I didn't even expect this. Ken Paxton, another MAGA endorsement, absolutely smokes Rhino John Cornyn in a landslide within an hour of the polls closing. Within an hour, they announced Ken Paxton won the race, 62% to 37%. Beat him by 20-something points. That's crazy. Donald Trump on True Social boasting about it, obviously. Cornyn had an embarrassing watch party too. I was seeing clips of it. He had like a small handful of people that showed up to witness his defeat. And on the Paxton side, he held a massive election night rally per NBC. The room where the room here told the story. This is from NBC. The room here told the story before the results ever came in. This was never intended to be a watch party. It's all media by design. No balloons, no music, no fanfare, not even supporters. Let's see. I'm looking at some numbers here. This is going through counties and everything else. But John Cornyn outspent Ken Paxton 9-1. A tremendous amount of money for this Senate seat was spent by Senate leadership and by big time donors for John Cornyn, who did side with Trump. And Trump had some nice words to say to him on the way out. He said, hey, he's a good guy, whatever, but Ken Paxton's my guy. But at the end of the day, there were times, and really some of the most important times, that John Cornyn showed himself to be a rhino. And so Donald Trump comes out and endorses Ken Paxton. And people say, oh, Ken Paxton, he's got too much baggage, he can't win. But yet, in another amazing example of Donald Trump endorsed candidates, he blows John Cornyn out. And people will, this is where the argument's going to be made, as you heard from Ken, or what is the guy's name? Nate. Nate says the Republicans are going to get blown out, are going to get swept in the midterms. Well, then he changed his mind about what swept was. But he says they're going to get swept in the midterms. Yet there seems to be a tremendous amount of momentum behind people that Donald Trump is endorsing. And you got to ask yourself, is that really getting people excited? Donald Trump coming out and and if it is fantastic news for the Republicans. You mix that with the redistricting going on. All signs are pointing towards the Republicans in this upcoming midterm. And so if you would have asked me, I don't know, a few months ago, I would have said, I don't know, it's possible that Democrats, there's not going to be a blowout, first of all. But I would have said, yeah, it's possible Democrats can have the majority. But as days go by, I think I'm becoming more and more convinced, and there's still plenty of time to go, that Republicans are going to, they've got this thing. I believe that they're going to keep the majority. The question is by how much. That's in the House. On the Senate side, it's a little trickier because Republicans have far more Senate seats to defend than the Democrats do. Current Republican senators, I don't know the exact number, but it's like 19 to 6. And I'm just making up these numbers, so don't quote me, but say it's like 19 Republicans in the Senate are up for election or up for re-election, and there's only like 6 or 7 Democrats that are up for re-election in the Senate. And so it's up to Republicans to not only defend those seats, but to then turn around and pick off seats on the Democrat side. Can they do it? I don't know. At the very least, maintain the majority that you have. But it's going to be a lot trickier than the House. I think Republicans have got the House in the back. But when it comes to these endorsements, and I'll move on after this, if these endorsements, they actually have the power that they seem to have, then you might see a level of turnout in November unlike anything we've seen in the past on the Republican side, and maybe even the Democrat side, but maybe not. I really don't see an explosion in Democrat voters getting out in the midterms because they have been so disenfranchised, and they don't have, this is the big factor, they don't have anybody to be excited about. Who in the Democrat Party is getting people excited? Who is the Democrat Party's Donald Trump? Who's the main guy? There's not one. There's not one person in the Democrat Party that you can look at and say that's the kingmaker. And that is a problem. As of last night, Donald Trump has endorsed 118 candidates that have finished their primary election. And out of those 118 candidates he endorsed, 118 of them won. Every single one of them won their election. That is a record that nobody can argue with. Tim says that the water in your car did $1,000 worth of improvements.
Really?
Yeah, which means just over the past 30 minutes, the value of your car has tripled.
Dang right. Maybe I should have left it open.
You probably should have. Oh my God. Forgot to turn my phone down. That was me.
I'm so used to it being me.
I know. You started looking around like crazy. Bubba Rumble's on the line. Bubba, what's up, buddy?
Hey now.
Hey now.
Yeah, we can't be having no fresh, clean water getting in the J. Bizzlebow mill. There's like we got to preserve the DNA of all the history in that car. So.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad Jay Bizzle's getting his voice back today, but I sure was enjoying Stephen Hawking's Cyborg Terminator Jay Bizzle yesterday. That was some pretty funny stuff. You can't script that kind of stuff, and that's why Jay Bizzle is always going to be the gift that keeps on giving. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, and that just happened on the fly. I mean, we just kind of came up with that in the moment.
That was funny, dude. So anyway, yeah, another good night for MAGA in these primaries, which flies in the face of what the lamestream talking head lying prostitutes have been saying. MAGA movement's dead. Trump endorsements don't mean anything anymore, And here we go, man. It's just like his endorsement record just keeps getting better every week, and you got to laugh a little bit. These are the same lying lamestream media polls that gave Hillary a 95% chance of winning, and also gave Camel Toe a huge advantage in winning. So
right.
I love when Trump just makes them look like the idiot lying propagandists that they are.
Wait, can I call a timeout real quick? I'm having a discussion with somebody on who is this? Walter on the text line. He's trying to argue with me about how often members of the House have to run for office. And he says it's every 4 years, not 2 years. And I'm like, no, it's they run every 2 years. And he's like, no, they don't. They run every 4 years. Why are people arguing with me about this? Like,
well, maybe at a state level somewhere or something, but not at the federal level.
Yeah, at the federal level, it's 2 years for the House, 4 years for the president, 6 years for the Senate. Anyway, I just want to make sure that I'm not going crazy or something, that people are actually arguing with me about this. Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Bubba. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's okay. It was always nice to get a little bit of feedback of what you're getting on the text line, other than my smart aleck text, of course. And apparently about half the people that use the text line just use it to vex and torment my dude, which is kind of funny. Why don't they find a show that they actually like and listen to that one?
It happens. I probably make it. It really doesn't happen that much, but I'm one that highlights it when I see it occasionally. Unless it's one of these, there are some people that will just bombard it all day, every day, and I ignore those. But sometimes things pop up, and I just.
So it's kind of like that socialist communist thing, like the loudest like minority of people can get their way if they're just bother people and yell, scream at them enough. That's their philosophy, right? Like
just because they're yeah. It's
if they text bomb Andrew enough with their talking point every day, he'll finally submit.
Yeah, it's people that just want to. I think in some case, and I'm not necessarily talking about Walter here, but some people just want to hear themselves or hear somebody talking about them, and it's maybe a cry for help, a cry for attention, if you will.
It is. A text line troll is just a different version of an internet troll. But I did get a good laugh out of the suggestion that Nick Fuentes would make a good president today, though, at least. So
right.
we do get some entertainment.
I'm not fully convinced that Nick Fuentes isn't a Fed, or at least some sort of confidential human source, because there have been things where I'm like, maybe this guy, because I remember Tucker making the accusation, and I kind of dismissed it at the time. And of course, Tucker's off the reservation as of late, but he says stuff from time to time where I'm like, could you be working for because there's no doubt the guy has been under attack by the DOJ for years, especially under Biden. And along the way, it's very possible that some sort of sweetheart deal could have been cut where it's like, hey, you just do what we need you to do, and we won't throw you in prison for, hate speech or whatever. But I don't know. Anyway, it's
if gangster rap was a deep state, if gangster rap was a deep state op, then Nick Fuentes could be one too. And on that note, since you brought it up, I'm glad to see one of those mouthy little streamer punks finally maybe facing up to all the horrible things he said, and that would be that Hassan Piker loser. I'm not sure all what's coming down on him, but he is gone on Twitch, which is owned by Amazon, Jeff Bezos or whatever, for years, talking about spilling people's blood, like not even joking about it. Kill your landlord, take take his
Yeah.
property, kill the
Let me,
capitalist, take
Bubba,
their
let me
business.
hit this break, but I do want to talk about that on the other side.